Scott. That was Jeff. Scott's in there too, but it was just that it's time. I was ratchet drawing. Good morning, everybody. Friday the 13th. This is Dick WB2JPQ. Along with Jeff today, KE8 GKF. And Bill's going to be in here for a minute, N2BH, and Vicky, KE8 VKY. We'll be doing this edition. What is it? 1153. 1153, not number. Wow, numbers. Of the morning brew. Try to go back in time here on Fridays, so we came up with the question this morning. Do you remember your first cell phone call and what year was it? So obviously, if you just give us the year, you will probably remember your first cell phone. So we'd find out if people remembered their first cell phone call. What a big deal it was. I remember my first cell phone call back in the early 70s. I had a cell phone very, very early when they first came out. What a big deal it was, you know? And it was so expensive. So that's our question. Do you remember your first cell phone call and what year was it? Got some announcements. We will be doing the second cup. Vicki and I following the morning brew, as always we do on Fridays. Tonight is our youth set at 8 o'clock. Please come support our youth. Tomorrow night, 11 o'clock, Vicki and Alex for the East Coast Reflector Trivia Net at 11 o'clock. Got 24 check-ins here this morning. People were up doing their duty very early this morning. Good morning to Tim, Columbia, South Carolina. N2W in Newcastle. We got Bill, VA3YVS, who's in here with us this morning on the text line. KC2U UK, Charlie from Sun City, Brian from Corfu, New York, KB3EYR, Charles from Syracuse, Farmington Hills, Michael, Farmington Hills, Michigan, Mark from Plymouth, and 0CKV from South Carolina, and 4RSM. And as I scroll up, we got Joel from East Yaphank, New York is with us, and Joel from Claremont, our buddy Clark from Phoenix, Arizona, Ray from Beaver, Pennsylvania, the voice of Orlando, J, K1MCO, Armand from Miami, W9QJQ, Zachary from Kissimmee, Ray from Blaisdell, and KM7CGI Larry from Arizona is at the top of the list. Let me see what we have in the field for mobiles this morning. Get our mobiles in and out. Get our people to play, school, or work. Once again, this is Dick, WB2JPQ Morning Brew, Friday, February 13th, 2025. Our question, do you remember your first cell phone call and what year was it? Call signs twice and slowly. Mobiles only.
Kilo India 5, November Charlie Oscar. Kilo India 5, November Charlie Oscar. Mobile I-10.
AA4, Kilo Juliet 5, Golf, Uniform Yankee. Kilo Juliet 5, Golf, Uniform Yankee, Mobile, Southeast Louisiana, New Orleans.
November 5, Charlie, Hotel Bravo, Mobile. November 5, Charlie, Hotel Bravo, Mobile.
KJ5, MLZ. J5, MLZ.
KB2FX Mobile, KB2FX. From the bottom up, good morning to Mike, KB2FX. Good morning to Ezra. Good morning to Chuck in Sugarland, Texas. Guy in Harvey, Alabama. Micah, good morning to you, Fort Alabama. KI5MCO. And it's John in I guess, John, you're going to start us out this morning. Good morning, KI5NCO. We don't have too many mobiles there. Maybe a few more will come in. Once again, the question, do you remember your first cell phone call and what year was it? Good morning, John.
Good morning. This is John, KI5NCO, I-10, just leaving El Paso, Texas. My first cell phone call I remember was in Europe, Germany. I was in the military. What year that was had to have been late 90s, 95, 96, somewhere in there. This is KI5NCO back to net.
All right, we'll go with 95, John. Good morning to Micah, AA4XM. How's everything in Florence, Alabama this morning?
Good morning, Dick. It's going well. Getting in the truck, fixing to head on out. Don't have time to wait. Sorry. Answer to the question, it was 2003, and it was a Motorola flip phone that had a camera on it. And it wasn't the Razor, but I can't remember exactly the model, but I was very thrilled. I remember that. Back to net.
You young ones. Thanks, Micah. You have a good day, and I saw your new ad on Facebook. You're doing a great job. I'm very, very proud of you. Good morning, Guy. KJ5GUY. What's it going to be for you, Guy? Good morning.
Good morning. I'm Brew out there. KJ5GUY. Well, for me, the very first cell phone call I ever took was in 1992. I was still considered a rookie cop, and I remember they had some kind of program with the cell phone service. I think it was through AT&T, I believe it was at first, and it was on a realistic bag phone, coming with a bag phone. I tell you, that thing was just like a brick. It run really well. Well, that was mine, eons ago. Back to you, net control. Everybody have a phone one time. KJ5GUY. Lazy live on phone release.
We go on here, I'll tell a couple of things about the early cell phone days. Time elapsed here. Good morning to Chuck in Sugar Land, Texas.
Morning, Brew Crew. Happy Friday. We made it. Gosh, I can't remember where I put my keys at night, and for some reason I can remember this. It would have been 1989. Pulling into the driveway and calling my now ex-wife from the car, and remember how unimpressed she was. But 1989, am I dating myself? N5 CHB.
You thought you were the sharpest kid in the parking lot, right? Ezra, good morning. KJ5MLZ Mobile. What's it going to be for you?
KJ5MLZ. Good morning, Dick and the crew. Man, it's my uncle bought a pickup truck. A 1997 Chevy show truck, and they gave him a cell phone, and that was the first time I ever used a cell phone in 1997. Back to you, net control. Hope everyone have a great day. KJ5MLZ.
Morty. Vicky's breaking him up from 1995 to 1999, trying to probably for the graph a little bit. Good morning to you, Mike. KB2FX.
Good morning, Dick. It's been a while. The rest of the participants on this morning's net. I can't nail the year down. It was mid to late 90s. It was business, and the only thing I remember was probably a business-related content, but it was the Kia phones that were the size 2 briefcase and had the big handset. The same phone you could see on Lethal Weapon that Danny Glover was using. But a long time ago on the AMP system. Good morning, everybody. Nice talking to you, Dick. KB2FX.
Same here, Mike. We had our first East Coast Reflector Western New York meet and greet here beginning of the month. We got another meeting, and I think you're on the list of the groups IO. Another one coming up March 2nd at 7 o'clock in the Zoom room. So we got a lot going on this year, a lot of new ideas, lots of people coming already. Let me go work a few of these text check-ins. Good morning. Let's go out to Arizona. Good morning, Larry. KM7 CGI.
Morning, Brew. First cell phone call I did was, I believe it was back in 1985. At work, a salesman came and he had a portable phone, which was actually in a briefcase. So it was quite large to be carrying around, but he came in, let us all, get excited. Back in 1985. Everybody have a great day. KM7 CGI.
85 it is for you. Good morning, Larry. KA2BYU.
Everybody on the Brew, KA8BYU. My first cell phone call was in 1993. I had just gotten one of those humongous flip phones with the pull-up antenna, no camera, no text, none of that nonsense. And I used it to call my employment the one morning. Yep, back to you.
Right. Good morning to Wayne, Belmore, New York. KC2NJV. Good morning, Wayne.
Happy Friday, Dick. KC2NJV here. Also a hello to Fun Button and Vicky and the rest of the crew. I think somewhere in the mid to late 90s, and I think it was the Brick was the first cell phone, and then I know we bought a bag phone, but I'm pretty sure it was the Brick. Have yourself a great weekend.
Well, thank you, Wayne. We got Fun Button in the green room. He'll be coming up here shortly. Good morning, Randall. K8 UFM.
Good morning, Dick. Good morning, Vicky. Good morning to all on frequency. And I really don't know. It had to have been mid to late 80s. I'm going to say maybe 87. And with that, this is KUFM, back to net control. Everyone have an outstanding Friday and a wonderful weekend.
Well, it certainly was back in the analog cell phone days, Randall. I was just telling the guys in the Zoom room, cell phones first came out. They were all, of course, analog. There was 666 channels. There was 666 simultaneous telephone calls is all that you could make per cell, if you could, if you will. Look at it that way. 333 of them were for the wireline. 333 were for any independents that wanted to cell phones. I was doing a part-time gig selling cell phones for an independent. And they were RCA phones, and they mounted in the trunk. They were about 4 inches high by 4 by 12 by 12. Used diversity antennas, 2/4 wave antennas on the roof of the vehicle, a cable that ran up to the front. And listen closely here. The headset was mounted on the transmission hump of the car. There we go. Zachary, Kissimmee, Florida, KI6KQO. Good morning.
Good morning, Dick, Vicky, and the Brew crew. It was 1992, out fishing on the reservoir, and I couldn't believe it. The phone actually worked. It was a Motorola brick phone with the rubber ducky coming out of the top. And it seems like it was yesterday. 7-3 to the group. Back to you, Dick, KI6KQO.
Oh, that's why we do memory. Make people realize how old we're getting. Good morning to Keith, W9QJQ.
And Vicky on the Brew. I want to say, yeah, I think it was 89. I had a brick phone working on the Metro line out there in L.A. Well, I was glad to leave California and come back to Wisconsin. Yeah, it was a miserable 3 years, but yeah, I think that was 89.
It is. Have a nice day, nice weekend. Alman in Miami, Florida, KR4HWX.
Good morning. I hope you can hear me okay. It's kind of an iffy day here in Miami. KR4HWX, 1989. I believe it was a Nokia. First call to my ex-wife. KR4HWX, everybody have a good day. Thank you, 73.
Thank you, sir. Let's go to the voice of Orlando, Jay, K1MCO. A lot going on there in Orlando today with Hamcation starting at, 8 o'clock here this morning. Sure wish we were there.
Good morning, Dick, Vicky, and everybody on the Morning Brew. This is K1MCO, also known as the Boys of Orlando. Specifically, the phone call, Dick, I don't remember, but another year was 1988 when I moved from Puerto Rico here to the States. I bought my first cell phone, and that was pretty cool back then. I remember it was one of those Motorola that everybody said looks like a brick phone. Everybody have a great day, and all the stations that are coming to Hamcation, welcome to Central Florida. Everybody have a good time, and great vibes over there. Send it back to you. K1MCO, the Boys of Orlando.
Yep, thousands heading to the fairgrounds this morning, Jay. Some of our guys got in yesterday. Good morning to Ray, Beaver, Pennsylvania, and 3QDQ.
Good morning, Dick, Vicky, Jeff, Bill, anybody else that's in the Zoom room, and everyone here on the net, M3DQD. My first actual phone was my employer provided because I was on call in 1995, a cell phone. So that was my first use. But Dick, in all honesty, I thought you were going to go back to those 100 radio phones that used to be quite popular. Back to net. This is M3DQD.
I can tell you I saw one in the 50s that I'll never forget. My uncle had one. And they had he called the operator and gave her the number. It was the Buffalo, not Buffalo Pocket phone, that was the other one, Buffalo mobile phone or something. It was a VHF system, and that's exactly what it was. You dialed the operator and she connected you. I do remember, but I never had those, Ray. I owe you one. Good morning, Clark, KK7DY.
Good morning, Becky and the rest of the Brew crew. 1995, a Motorola brick with a rubber duck antenna from the cab of my Federal Express tractor. Back to net control, KK7DY.
Oh, you knew exactly, didn't you, Clark? Good job. Joe in Claremont. Did they have cell phones in Florida in the early days?
Hey, Dick, good morning. Good morning, Vicky. Good morning to the crew. Yeah, they had cell here for a while. I'm going to call it 1995. I know it was mid-90s, and I remember it was a call home from work, and it was on a work-provided phone, and I thought back in those days when I was a little bit younger and a little bit more silly,
Gosh, I hope I don't get in trouble for making this personal call from my work phone. Hey, everybody take care, have a great weekend, and hope everybody that's here in Central Florida enjoys the vacation. KM4WZD, back then.
Thank you, Joe. Have a nice weekend. Yep, Hank, New York. Good morning, Joel. Good morning, Dick and Vicki and everybody else on the morning brew. This bright Friday morning. 8 to 2 WRN. Answer to the question, yes, it was 1990, and it was a Motorola with a little stubby antenna. And first call, I believe I called my wife at the house, which was pretty amazing back then. Anyway, everybody have a great day and a great weekend coming up. Thanks for what you guys do on the net. KC2CRN. Memory Lane Friday, this is all I could think of today. We kind of beat up on the school questions over the last 2 weeks and came up with this one. I said, what do you think, Jeff? And he says, let's go with it. So here we are. Richard, South Carolina, N4RSM, good morning. 22 past the hour. This is Dick, WB2JPQ. Go right. Sorry, Richard, I saw you coming in on one of the digital modes. You want to try it one more time? You want to give us your answer?
Good morning, everyone on the Brew crew. Yes, that was my 9495. I had a Nokia back phone. It worked pretty well. Back to you.
9495. We got you that time. Thank you. Good morning to Mark, N0CKV.
Morning, Dick, Jeff, rest of the Brew crew, everybody else on the net. To be honest with you, I don't remember the exact year. It was in the late 80s. Don't remember the phone, but I know the call was to my wife. We've had the same phone number for the last 40 plus years. And 0CKV, everybody have a nice weekend. And I'll be back to net.
Thanks, Mark. You seem the first call was to their girlfriends or significant others, or wives, or whatever. KF8EBV. Michael, good morning. Farmington Hills, Michigan.
Jeff? Yes, it was 1989, and I called my fiance. And you have a good weekend. KF8EBV.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody, for paying attention here this morning. We've got a lot of text check-ins to get through. Charles in Syracuse, KD2YUI.
Good morning, Dick, Vicki, and everybody else listening in on the Brew. Approximately 1993, it was at the fire department. They'd just gotten a new phone that the chief would carry, and we had a drill so that everybody knew how to use it in case we needed to use it. First call was basically just back to the firehouse just to make sure we knew how to use the phone. 73, all back to net control, KD2YUY.
Thank you, Charles. KB3EYR is up next. Good morning, Greg.
Good morning, Vicki. This is KB3EYR, and it was 1989 for me for work, and he let me use it on occasion there. So that was my first time on the cell phone. I hope everybody has a great day. Back to net control.
Where am I going? I'm going to Corfu, New York. Brian, KE2FBT. Good morning, Brian.
Good morning, Dick, and everyone in ECR land. First cell phone that I remember, my parents got one. Had to be 88 or 89 when they first started traveling full-time in their fifth wheel. It was that Motorola phone you carried in a soft-sided briefcase. I used that one a couple times, thought it was pretty cool, but I never started using a cell phone till the mid-2000s when I had a Nextel phone for work. Back to you guys. Everyone have a great day.
Hey, Brian, I'm going to put you on the list for the Western New York meet and greet. You're not all that far away. The Chestnut Ridge Park on June 20th, south of Buffalo. I'd love to have you join us. You got a current email address on QRZ. I'll add you to our list, and hopefully you can keep that day free, June 20th. And come party with us for a day. Have a little bit of fun. We got a lot of activities planned, and it'll be a really nice day. Sun City, Florida. Good morning, Charlie.
Pretty high in Tampa Bay. 60 this morning with a little bit of fog. Question, my first wireless cell phone was, I think, 96 when I went to work after I moved to Florida for UPS. But I did have one of the boat anchors you'd mentioned earlier. Had one in around 82. I think it was Frontier wireless. Had a car phone. And first call I made with that one was, of course, my parents. But that was quite a boat anchor. I had that for a number of years. Used to do some DJ work and wanted to have something in the car in case I need to call home in the middle of the night problems. Anyway, thanks for what you do. Have a good weekend. WB2JBQNA2B.
All right, for you RF geeks out there, remember I said diversity antennas, two antennas spaced on the roof of the vehicle. They were two quarter wave antennas. The original cell system was built around diversity. So you know what diversity is. You don't look it up, but that was how we've come a long way. We literally don't have an antenna on our cell phones now. Herbert, KC3UUK.
This is KC3UUK from southwestern Pennsylvania. You're bringing back flashbacks from here. It was 1994. I had a Motorola TAC phone, and my first call was to my son. I was in law enforcement back then. It was just another weight on my gun belt. It was a big handheld back in them days. But anyhow, that's what I remember. And with that being said, everybody have a blessed day. Stay out of harm's way. We got 22 degrees right now here. I'm having a heat wave. KC3UUK, clear the net.
Well, that's what we try to do, bring back memories on Herbert on any day. But try to bring back memory lane, and fun button is with me. Bill, KH3YPS.
Good morning, Dick, and everybody on the net. It's 58 degrees here in Cape Canaveral. I'm going to be heading over to Orlando this morning to go to Hamcation. This is a real head-scratcher for me. I've been thinking when I got my first phone. Best I could tell you is mid to late 90s, probably around 1996. And the first call I made on it was very likely home to my wife. So anyway, hope to see a few people at Hamcation today, and everybody have a great day. This is VA3 YBS.
Well, Well, a head scratcher, yeah, for everybody, I guess. Chuck in Newcastle, what's it going to be for you, Chuck?
Good morning, Dick, Vicki, and everybody on the Brew there. Would be year 2000, and the first call on a Motorola flip phone was to my wife to let her know what the score of one of my son's soccer games was. That was the day of road charges. Have a great weekend. Back to you, W3CBE.
You might have the best answer yet, Chuck. Ball scores. That's very good. Riverview, Michigan, N2WXD.
N2WXD. Good morning, Dick and Vicki and all on the crew. And tell you the truth, I think it was the very late 90s or early 2000s. I can't remember the exact date. Back to that, N2WXD.
That's what we... KQ4EFY. Good morning, Tim.
Thank you there, Dick. This is KQ4EFY Tim in Columbia, South Carolina. And my first cell phone call would have been to my wife. It would have been back in 1995, back to net control.
Sounds like the wives must have been pretty privileged back in the day. I got some text check-ins, but we're going to go to radio check-ins, and I'm going to give Vicki to get on here for a half hour this morning and say hello to everybody. I got Gary in Woodhaven, Michigan, in queue here. Got Steve in Rochester Hills. Got my friend Bob in Hamburg. I got Ed, KF4ACB is here. Stephen in Easton, Pennsylvania. Elmer in Ellen Park. Glenn in Glen Burnie. Norm in South Wales. And I guess that's all we have on the text line, and they've been, the 8 of them haven't been holding that long. So, anybody anywhere, twice and slowly. This is Dick, WB2JPQ, call signs twice.
Alpha Alpha 5 Juliet Whiskey Mobile. Alpha Alpha 5 Juliet Whiskey Mobile. Kilo Charlie 5 Charlie Zulu X-ray KC5CZ. W8WHK W8WHK. November
Kilo Alpha 2 Echo Uniform. Kilo Alpha 2 Echo Uniform.
NY2 US. NY2 US.
November 8 Hotel Lima November N8 HL.
Victor Alpha 3, Kilo Tango Juliet. Victor Alpha 3, Kilo Tango Juliet.
Kilo 4 Hotel Bravo Tango. Kilo Echo 8 Sierra Mike November KE8 SMN. KJ5 LJJ KJ5 LJJ KJ5 LJJ.
Kilo Alpha 5 Gulf Sierra Sierra. Show me in and out this morning, fellas. F3.
Alright, we'll hold up there. This is Vicki, K8VKY. And we had K5GSS in and out, KJ5LJJ, K8F, K4HBT, VH3KTJ, N8HLN, NY2US, KA2EEU, N4RAG, W8WHK, KC5CZX, and mobile we have AA5JW. So first up is James. Do you remember your first cell phone and what year it was?
Well, good morning, Vicky and Dick. Thank y'all for running that this morning. And good morning, Brew Crew. This is Alpha 5 Juliet Whiskey Mobile. James in Spring, mobile in Houston for work today. And getting ready for some pretty bad storms I think we're going to get tomorrow evening. So that should be fun. To the question at hand, my first cell phone, man, that's a tough one. I don't remember the brand, but it was a bag phone. Well, it was a car phone that could be converted to a bag phone, and that must have been probably around, I don't know, late, like 99 or 2000, somewhere around there. And it was, back in the day when a cell phone was just a phone. I kind of miss those days. You didn't get notifications. It was a beautiful time. With that, I'll say 7-3, hand it back to Ned. Everybody have a blessed day and stay safe out there. This is Alpha 5 Juliet Whiskey Mobile. Willie monitoring.
Thank you, James, and have a good weekend. Daryl, KC5CZX.
Well, good morning, Vicky and the rest of the Brew. Honestly, I can't tell you when I got my first cell phone. It's probably somewhere in the mid-1990s. Other than that, and I couldn't even tell you who the first phone call was. It's been a long time. So back to that KC5CZX.
Thank you, Daryl. Have a good morning. Bill, W8WHK.
Well, good morning, Mickey. It's 59 degrees here in heavy fog in North Fort Myers. I'm thinking back, it had to be one of those Motorola brick phones. Was the first phone that my wife and some friends of ours worked at Cleveland Mobile Telephone, and they used to have those giant phones that the package is about the size of a large briefcase that they put in the trunk. So, anybody could have a mobile telephone. And, then the control head was up on the car. I don't know, they hooked it up to the dash or something. Anyway, we had they lent us one of those brick phones just to play with for about a week. We had, I don't know who we called first, but that was about 1980, 1981. So, that was a very exciting time when first telephone, when a cell phone was a telephone. Okay, I'll back to you, Vicky. W8WHK, 7-3, back to the control.
Thanks, Bill. Roger, N4RAG. N4RAG. Oh, we'll try him again in a few minutes. Scott, KA2EEU.
Good morning to everyone on the Morning Brew this morning. So my first cell phone was purchased on a Friday. It was December 29th, 1989, and it was a Panasonic EB500 bag phone that you could convert to a mobile mounted phone. Mounted it to the dash of my 84 Ford F-150. Paid $35 a month plus 35 cents a minute. the days. Back to you, KA2.
All right, Scott, have a good day. Jim, NY2US.
Good morning, everybody. I'm going to cheat the system a little bit. We got a mobile phone back in 1974 or 75. We're using out patches on our 2-meter HT. And that was our first experience. And then in the early 80s, a friend of mine had a commercial radio system that was actually running commercial auto patches. We had that for the department. We took out one of our channels in our Jeff radio and he had a mobile phone channel in there. And the friend who did that happened to be visiting him in Orlando right now. And then after that, the regular cell phone. I can't even remember back in the early 90s, whether it was Motorola or whatever we had. Just a point of reference, the very first cell phone ever produced is in the Antique Wireless Museum in Bloomfield, New York, which is around the corner from where I live. It did have a diversity antenna, believe it or not. And that was part of a pilot project from Bell Labs. They were, all of them, scrapped after the pilot, and somebody was smart enough to save cell phone number 1, and that's where it is. This is NY2US back to net control.
Thank you, Jim. You had about a pack of loss on you, but yours so. Have a good weekend. Mike, N8HLN.
Good morning, Vicki and the crew. 19 degrees this morning in the backyard here on the east side of Detroit. And my first phone was a Motorola flip phone. I think the year was 2003, and it was supplied to me by my employer. So there we go. Everybody, have a good weekend, 73, NHLN.
Thank you, and also have a good weekend. Jensowick, VA3, KTJ.
Good morning, Vicky, and everyone in the net. This is VA3 KTJ. I don't remember exactly when my first cell phone call was, but I guess it was around 1997. W3 to all. Have a great weekend, everyone. Back to net control. This is VA3 KTJ.
Around is good enough. I'm just kind of ballparking it. Let's head back up to Roger, N4, RAG.
KE8BKY. Good morning, clever cousin. Always good to hear you. Don't know what happened. November 4, Rematel Echo. In 1987, I remember standing on the poop deck of the Santa Maria, a recreation of Christopher Columbus's ship. They were from Spain. The 3 ships were here in the New River in Fort Lauderdale. They were using instruments used by Columbus, but I saw Magellan GPS in the captain's quarters. And it was a Motorola brick, bomb-proof, and I called my mother and told her, "You won't believe where I'm calling you from." Don't remember a particular first phone call. November 4, Roger Ham Enthusiast. Return to net.
Thank you, Roger. Have a good weekend. This is Vicky, K8VKY. Question today is, do you remember your first cell phone and what year it was? Up next, Gary, K4HBT.
Bought a cell phone the first time I used it, and my first call was to my wife.
Well, we heard you in there, but I think you're a little too far away from the repeater, but thanks for stopping by. Let's go to Jeff, K8, SMN.
Good morning, Vicki, everyone on the Brew. This is KE8SMN. Well, I've been thinking about it for over 10 minutes, and I just can't remember. So you got to put me down for a no. KE8 SMN. Back to net.
No problem. Craig, KJ5, LJJ.
Morning, Vicky and the Brew crew. To be honest, I can't remember when I got my first cell phone, but I think it was in the late 90s, early 80s. In the late 80s, early 90s. I can't remember who I called or what year it was exactly. This is Greg KJ5LJ. Back to you, net control.
All right, thank you. We got added to our text list. We've got W2RBC, KD3ATQ, and K8BAC. We're going to head up to Norm, NY1US.
Good morning, Vicky and Dick and everybody on the Brew Crew today. And I believe mine was in the 90s, like 95 or something like that. And I'm pretty sure it was a Motorola brick phone. So pretty good. Thanks for running the net. And back to you, Vicky, on NY1US.
Thanks for stopping by, Norm. Glenn, entry LLY.
Good morning, Vicky, Dick, and the rest of the crew. I made my first cell phone call back around 1998. And didn't really have much interest in them until then. Then I got one at a job. I got a Nextel, and after that, shortly after that, I think about 2003, I got a Sprint phone, and it actually sent color pictures, color text messages back and forth. About the size of a 2x2 screen. I thought that was the greatest thing in the world. Anyway, everybody have a great day. Great weekend coming up here. Back to you, Vicky, from N3LLY.
Thank you, Glenn. Have a good weekend. Elmer, KB5NJU.
Good morning and happy Friday. This is KB5NJU Mobile. My first cell phone call was in the Czech Republic. I was working on a translator job, and I was assigned this gigantic Nokia that I had to schlep around, and we didn't use the darn thing until about halfway through this month-long project, and it rang, and it was for the doctor I was going around with, telling us that we had to go someplace, and we ended up using that phone a lot that day and use it afterwards. But man, that thing was heavy, and me being the lowest ranking guy, I had to tote it around. Have a great day, everybody. This is KB5NJU Mobile.
I didn't catch the date. Can you give that to me again, please? And he's gone. Stephen, WB3, ILA.
Vicky, and everyone out there. I remember clearly it was 1994. I was working for IBM upstate New York, and I had to travel overseas for business, and now my ex-wife now, but got a Motorola flip phone from Cellular One was the name of the company. It was $40 a month, and you got 40 minutes. Use them or lose them. And you certainly didn't use it much at that price. So that was it. Back to the net. Everybody have a good weekend. WB3 ILA.
Have a good weekend. Ed, KF4ACB. KF4ACB.
You never find the right microphone, Vicki. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to have to put a big flag on all of them and color code them or something. I wind up responding on the wrong repeater. But good morning. And my first cell phone call would have been in about 1995, probably on a track phone, pay-as-you-go, that kind of deal, flip phone maybe. I can't remember the exact person. Why? I had used the local phone patch on a local repeater before that, so was familiar with talking on the phone mobile anyway. And about the same year I saw a girl with a phone that had the full internet on it. And needless to say, I got hooked.
I won't ask if you're hooked on the girl or the internet. But have a good weekend. KC2, JZE.
We were discussing this here. I believe the first cell phone when we got it was in the mid-90s. It was installed in my wife's car. She travels for work. And I think the first thing we called was the home phone to make sure it worked. Back to that. 2JZ.
Thank you, Bob. Have a good day. Steve, W8J.
Hey, good morning, Vicki. Good morning, Dick, if you're still listening. This is Steve, W8STJ, and for me, the answer, I've been thinking about this since I sent in my text, and the answer I think I have to go with is the year 1996, and it's interesting to hear some of you guys tell stories about the really early days before that of the bag phones. I actually got a bag phone that I won in a white elephant gift at Christmas one year, but yeah, answer for me is 96. The phone I had was like an Ameritech cellular. It was like a standard. It was not of course they didn't have flip phones. It was kind of like a brick, and it had an extendable antenna you needed to raise it if you were far away from the tower. But hey, great question this morning. Hope everybody has a great and blessed day ahead. This is W8STJ.
Thank you, Stephen. Have a good weekend. Late 90s is taking the lead so far. Gary, N8VFH.
Good morning, Vicki, Dick, and the Brew Crew. And the first one I had was a Motorola Flip, a gray one, in 1989. And the first call, I believe, was to my wife from the parking lot of the store where I got it. And I still have that phone somewhere in a box in somewhere in the house. N8ZFH, back to net. Please check me in and out.
I hope you took the battery out. On the lineup, we've got W2PUT, KQ8U, K8BAC, KD3APQ, and W2RBC. But first, let's go back. Take some mobiles, twice and slowly, please.
Kilo Bravo 2, Whiskey Golf Charles. Kilo Bravo 2, Whiskey Golf Charles, mobile.
Alright, we got KB2WGC. That was easy. Since your mobile, let's go straight to you. Kevin, what year was your first cell phone call?
Good morning, Vicki, and the rest of the crew. You brought back a vast memory bank of that time changing to cell phones.
Sorry for that.
I would say 92
didn't
was
check
my
in
first
there.
cell phone.
I got in yesterday,
prior
but
to that, having
it's called in about 3 times.
and rescue, having a big argument with my boss. I'm not going to give you my number because you should be paying for this. But I do remember a Nokia. That was a brick. But my favorite was that Motorola Flip one, TriStar or Nexstar or something like that.
I loved that phone. And it took me a while to learn how to text. I remember back in those days, you had to hit the button once, twice, or 3 times for various things. So, thank you for the memory. KB2WGC, back to net.
Thank you, Kevin. Have a good weekend. Randy, W2RBC.
Good morning, Vicki, Dick, and everyone on the Morning Brew. My first cell phone call was to my office in the late 80s. It was to test my new Motorola bag phone. Back to net control, 73 to all, W2, RBC.
Thank you, Randy. We'll see you later in the Zoom room today. Jim, KD3ATQ.
Good morning, Vicki, and the rest of the Brew crew. My first cell phone was mounted in the car back in the late 80s. And to test it, I called my dad, and I don't think he ever did believe me that that call came from the car. Back to you, Vicki, KD3ATQ.
Thank you, Jim. And on to Al, K8BAC.
Good morning, Vicki, everybody in the Brew crew. First cell phone was in 1993, and first person I talked to was my boss, because I wanted to make sure it worked. It was for work, and then shortly after that, had a home cell phone, so for the longest time I carried around 2. I couldn't stand it. But everybody have a great day. Back to you, Vicki, K8BAC.
Thank you, Al. Have a good weekend. Bob, KQ8U.
Morning, Vicki, Dick, and everybody on the net. It would be about probably 1985 for me. It was a bag phone. I don't think it was a Motorola bag phone, but it weighed about 40 pounds. Had a camcorder battery to run it, and made the call probably to my girlfriend. And I've still got most of them phones. I got a museum of all these phones. CBs, those like phones, and cell phones, those like desk phones, things like that. I ought to put out a little display, start a little museum. Have a great day. KQ8U, that's net.
Thank you, Bob. Dan, W2PUT.
Good morning. We're just getting ready to head out to the Hamcation. My first cell phone call I placed was sometime in the late 80s, 87, 88, somewhere around there. It wasn't my phone. It was the first radio shop I worked in. I had to make test phone calls on a cell phone. Back to you. W2P. Good day.
Thank you, Dan. All right. The text check-ins, we've got KR4AEG and K6AAN. This is Vicki, K8VK1. We're going to take some more check-ins and then pass it over to Jeff. So anyone, anywhere, twice and slowly, please.
Whiskey 5, Delta, Bravo, Sierra. Whiskey 5, Delta, Bravo, Sierra.
Kilo, Quebec 4, Oscar, Romeo Kilo, KQ4, ORK, mobile. CJM, W2, CJM, mobile.
November 3, Mike Delta Charlie. November 3, Mike Delta Charlie.
Bravo, Kilo, Juliet 5, Whiskey Delta X-Ray Bravo,
Delta Charlie. In and out.
Kilowatt 3, Tango, Echo, Lima, K32EL. Good morning, and special morning to Elliot, K32EL, Townsend, Maryland.
Kilo Juliet 5, Mike Echo Lima. Kilo Juliet 5, Mike Echo Lima. Jose, Austin, Texas. In and out.
Kilo Charlie 2, Juliet India Bravo. Kilo Charlie 2, Juliet India Bravo, in and out.
November 3, Tango, Juliet Kilo, and 3, TJK, in and out.
Okay, we'll go with this list right here. Good morning, everyone. This is Jeff, KE0GKF. I'm located in Omaha, Nebraska. Looking at a high of 61 degrees later this afternoon. It's going to get to today. It's been quite pleasant here in the Midwest, and I'm not going to argue with that one bit. Let's go from the bottom up. N3TJK, Tim, you are an IO from Pasadena, Maryland. Have a good day. James from New York, you are an IO. Thanks for stopping by. KJ5, Jose, you were an IO this morning too. Have a good one. And our other IO was Dennis from Dansville, New York. Dennis, thanks for checking in. K3TEL, KJ5DXB, N3MDC, W2CJM, Charles, you're mobile. KQ4ORK, Barry, you are mobile as well. KI5PMI, Bill, W5DBS, KR4AEG, and at the top of the list, K6AAN. Let's go to our mobile stations first. Barry in Apopka, Florida. It's Fun Button Friday, Barry. KQ4ORK. Do you remember your first cell phone call, and what year was it, Barry?
Well, good morning and a happy Friday to everybody. Those heading out to Hamcation, be safe. I am going to have to say I definitely remember my first cell phone. I had a transportable Radio Shack that I picked up, also installed it in my F-150, and it was definitely in 1985.
All right, Barry, have a good one. Yeah, I'm right in there too, 85 to 89 area myself. You have a good one. Charles in Selma, New York, W2CJM.
Jeff, Vicky, everybody on the crew. My first cell phone was probably when it first came out. A friend of mine had one. It was very well to do. He had one, and I was able to use it at that time. Probably 80s. Early 80s, maybe late 70s, early 80s. Everybody have a great day. Thanks for doing the net.
All right, Charles, have yourself a great morning, great weekend. Let's go to the top of the list to Mike and head over to the other coast in Valley Springs, California, K6AAN. Good morning, Mike.
Hey, good morning, everyone on the Brew crew. So, 1980s, it was a work phone, definitely. They were Motorola units, mobile units actually. They put them in Pelican cases with a mag mount antenna for the roof. They put them in the sergeant's cars. I had the occasion to use that more than once. So, you all have a good weekend out there anyway. Yeah.
And you have a good weekend as well, Mike. Talk to you later. Charles in Belmont, North Carolina, KR4AEG. Going once, going twice, KR4AEG. Charles, you still with us this morning? Nothing heard from Charles. Let's move on to David in Houston, Texas, W5DBS.
Big Texas howdy to you, everybody on the Brew crew this morning. The first call I ever made, I was in a Corvette owned by my personal physician, who was my age. This was in 1973. The phone itself was in his trunk, the size of a briefcase. There was a 4 to 5 foot antenna mounted to his bumper, and when you dialed out, it sent pulses to activate the switch network before the touch tone. But that was 1973, because I remember I called my girlfriend at the time, who is now my wife, and we got married over 52 years ago, so that's how I remember that. Enjoy it every morning. Back to the net.
All righty, David. Have yourself a great morning. Bill in Hobbs, New Mexico, PI5, PMI.
Good morning, Jeff, everybody on the break. About 92 is when I made my first phone call on a cell phone. So hope everybody has a great day. Happy Friday. Hope everybody has a good weekend. KI5 PMI. Back to net.
All righty, Bill. Before I go down the list, I want to try KR4AEG one more time. Charles, you back with us?
Good morning, Bill, Vicky, everybody on the crew. My first cell phone was a bag phone. It was somewhere around 85, 86. That was good times. KR4 AEG, back to net control.
All right, Charles, have a good weekend. My name is Jeff, KE0GK up with Vicky on the log, KE8VKY. It's Fun Button Friday, Michael, in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, N3MDC.
A long time ago, I think that was back in 2002. So it's been a long time since I had my first cell phone. So back to you, Jeff. Hit 3 and be safe.
All righty, Michael. Have a good morning. By the way, the next hour, Vicky and Dick will be up with the second cup. So say good morning to them and stick around. Stay connected because it's Friday. And, of course, the second cup will be next hour. It's 8 minutes past this hour. Frank in Sugar Land, Texas, KJ5DXB.
Good morning to you, Jeff, Vicky, everybody in the Brew crew. I'm going to say it was the early 90s. It was a work phone, and I believe the first call was somebody at work. Thanks for the check-in. Everybody have a great weekend. KJ5DXB. Back to you, Jeff.
All right, Frank. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people used them for that only in the very beginning. That was their main goal. Yeah, work. Have a good day. Arnold in Maryland, K3TEL.
All right, K3TEL. Good morning. Well, I know my first phone I got was a flip phone, Sprint. I've been with Sprint, and then we call it Verizon for 24 years, and I went to, T-Mobile. Sprint went to became T-Mobile. So, I don't know, my first flip phone, I liked, you pulled the little antenna out, and basically the phone was a lot better than the pager that I had, because then you had to go and use a phone, get a pay phone. You don't see too many pay phones out there anymore, do you? All right, 7-3, K3TEL, clear.
That's great, Arnold. All we're asking today is year. What year?
Probably about in the 90s. Probably about the pager was probably in 77, but the phone came out probably about 82, 83, somewhere around there.
Okay, Arnold, have yourself a fine weekend. And to wrap up this list by the text line, and we'll be ready for another round of check-ins, is Anna in Beaver, Pennsylvania. KD3HJN. Good morning, Anna.
Morning, Jeff, and everyone else on the net this morning. Well, my first cell phone was a Motorola. It was big, and it had antenna to out, and I got it in 2000. Don't remember who I called, but I remember I got it. Everyone have a great weekend. KD3HJN.
Well, you do the same, Anna. Have a great weekend yourself. We had Doug come in via the text line while we were taking Anna's check-in. The text line, by the way, is 716-317-9050. 716-317-9050. Just put your call in your phone, and Vicky will get you on the log as soon as you check in. We're ready for a round of regular check-ins, radio check-ins, and anyone out there, please come twice and slowly.
This is Kilo Bravo 8, Papa Lima Victor, KB8 PLV, Chris.
KJ5, Whiskey Golf Romeo. KJ5, Whiskey Golf Romeo, Houston. Kilo Oscar 4, Lima Foxtrot Zulu, KO4 LFZ, Van Fulton County, in and out, no traffic.
Whiskey M6QDY, M6QDY, in and out. W8BPD.
KF8, DIC. KF8, Detroit Rock City.
November Kilo Delta 3, Bravo, Foxtrot Echo. Kilo Delta 3, Bravo, Foxtrot Echo. N5GI, N5GI. 9 Delta. Kilo Juliet 5, Juliet Oscar Mike. Kilo Juliet 5, Juliet Oscar Mike, Bob in North Texas, in and out. Thanks.
Okay, looks like I've got the reflector. I'm going to go with this list right here, and we'll get going. W3ICQ, Bob just came in by the text line. KJ5JOM, Bob, you were an IO, and thanks for checking in by the Fireside Network that connects up to us in the morning. Have a great weekend. NB9D, N5GI, KD3, BFE, NW3U, 2AP, KF8, City, N6QDY, David, you were an IO. Have a good weekend. Thanks for stopping by. W8BPD, K4HBT, Gary, you look like you're a recheck. We got you. KO4LFZ, Benjamin, you were an IO. Have a good weekend. KC2JPQ, KJ5WGR, Walter, you're the only mobile on this list. You're going to be first. KB8PLV and WA8CLG. Let's go to our mobile station on this list, Walter in Houston, Texas. KJ5WGR. Push the fun button, Walter.
All right, good morning, everyone. Walter in Houston. So 2002, I bought my first Motorola cell phone. The
before I even left the parking lot, I was getting hit with spam text messages. Didn't like it, so I went right back in and told them I didn't want any part of that. I still don't like spam. Everyone have a great day. Take care and back to net control.
All right, Walter. Yourself a fine weekend, sir. Motor safely. To the top of the list, Doug in Homosassa, Florida. WA8CLG.
CLG. Very good morning, everybody. And wow, I was pretty late getting into the cell phone era. I think it was probably around 2005, somewhere in there, maybe 8. And it was a track phone, one of the flip phones. Sat in the car, try to remember to charge the battery once a month. and that's my experience getting into the cell phone business. What I miss most from the landlines is the extension phones around the house. One in the garage, one in here, and 4 or 5 of them. Now you got to carry the phone around. Everyone have a good day. WA8CLG, back to you, Jeff.
All right, Doug. Yeah, I wish I could charge my phone just once a month. I think I'm charging it like 2 or 3 times a day. But I use it. Have a good one. And I see Steven, you're on the road there, K2EJ in our Zoom room. He's got his camera of him driving down the road there out the front windshield. I see it, Steven, if you're listening, K2EJ. Hey, he waved. KB8PLV, Kristen, Novi, Michigan. KB8PLV.
Good morning, everyone. Put us down for 1995 when we got our first cell phone with a precious 10 minutes only. You'd have to take out a second mortgage on your house if you went beyond 10 minutes. But it was a good experience. Everyone have a great week ahead. This is KB8PLV back.
Yeah, they got you for roaming charges back then, didn't they? Big bucks. Have a good one. Frank in Lancaster, New York, KC2JPQ.
Good morning, Jeff and Vicky and everybody on the Brew. 1996, 97, 96 I think it was. I got my first Motorola flip phone. I think they would give you like 10 minutes of talking time on the thing. And not much going on today, Jeff. Daytona 500 this week. Sit back and enjoy the race. And I'll say 7-3s. Everybody have a great weekend. Take care. KC2JPQ.
Alrighty, Frank. Us ham operators like our Motorola's, huh? I still talk on a Motorola phone. Mine's a Moto G Motorola. Love it. Works great. Have a good one and enjoy the race. Gary in Inverness, Florida, recheck. K48T. You with us, Gary?
Yes, I'm still here. I started my own business in 1994, and I bought a cell phone at that point to help with the business contacts. My first call was to my wife, which is now my ex-wife, unfortunately. Anyways, it was a Centennial wireless phone. That's it for me. I'll return to the net. K4HBT. Listening.
Alrighty, Gary. Enjoy the rest of the net and stick around for the second cup in 40 minutes, and everyone else for that matter. The second cup will be coming up at the top of the hour. Say good morning to Dick and Vicky to wrap up the weekend. And let's go to Brian in Warren, Michigan, W8BPD.
W8BPD. Are you still with us, Brian? On once, going twice. Well, we'll put Brian in as an IO. Let's move on to Jack in Rochester, Michigan. KF8, Detroit Rock City. How you doing, Jack? Good morning. And do you remember your first cell phone call, and what year was it? Well, that's like Jack. Jack, you're always there. KF8, DRC.
It's the GM repeater acting up, NHHOS.
Okay, well, we can always get Jack's check-in again if the repeater gets itself squared away. Thanks for that report. Have a good morning. Joe in East Islip, New York, K2AP.
Good morning, everyone. This is Joe, K2AP. I would say probably the first call I remember was in around 1994 or 95 from a campground. And I remember the phone, it was a Motorola flip phone. It was supposed to look like the Star Trek communicator. And one phone call cost about $5 for 2 minutes. And of course it was roaming charges and all that good stuff. So have a wonderful day, everyone. I hope a lot of people get to go to Hamvention this weekend. 73, and have a good morning.
Yep, and you have a good weekend too. And by the way, if you want to get into the Zoom room with us this morning, there's a couple of different ways. One that I'd like to mention, it's real quick. Just go to our website, eastcoastreflector.com. Scroll down to the tab that says Zoom room and join the rest of us. All we ask is that you just don't talk in the Zoom room while we're doing the net, so we can talk amongst each other while we're doing the net. Let's go to David in Garner, North Carolina, NW3U.
Well, good morning to you and everybody else on the Morning Brew, NW3U here. First cell phone would have been probably, I'm going to say 94 or 95. Let's say 94, and it was a company cell phone, Nextel flip phone. And I hope everybody has a good day. We'll try to catch you guys Monday morning. 73 is NW3U.
All righty, David. Have a great morning. Let's go to Elliot in Parkville, Maryland, KD3BFE.
KD3BFE here. Good morning. I hope everybody's having a great day. Yeah, first cell phone. Let's think here. I think it was in the early 2000s. I got a Virgin Mobile flip phone, and the first call was either to my house or to my girlfriend at the time. Thank you. KD3BFE, back to that.
See, I brought back memories of your girlfriend. If we can bring back memories on Friday, it's always a good thing. It's 24 minutes past the hour. Let's go to Rick in the Villages, Florida, N5GI.
Everyone else on the Brew crew on this fine Friday morning. Clear skies here in the Villages. Just a lovely day to go to Hamcation after we get done walking the dog. As far as the question goes, my first cell phone was 1984 when I joined Cellular One in San Antonio and built the San Antonio network. And then I spent 40 years in the cellular business, so I've had every kind of phone ever made. Back to net, Jeff. Have a great day. Thanks for what you do. N5GI.
Very cool story there, Rick. And enjoy Hamcation, too, as well. Have a great morning and enjoy the rest of your walk. Neil in Bedford, New Hampshire, NB9D.
Hey, this is November Bravo 9, still in Bedford, New Hampshire, and our first phone, geez, it must have been around 2000 or 2001, and it most certainly wasn't a smartphone. And I remember prior to that we used pagers and a lot of calling cards. That was very expensive to call anywhere out of the local area. So with that, good morning everybody. We'll send it back to Net Control. This is November Bravo 9 Delta. Thank you.
All righty, Neil. Have a great weekend. Bob in Leesburg, Florida. W3ICQ.
Good morning. This is a great question. I'm going to try and keep it brief because I could talk so much about it, but it was a Radio Shack CT200 in 1984. The unit was as big as a brick, sat at the back of my Pathfinder, and the phone itself sat between the two in the center console, and it cost me $2,000 in 1984. And it only covered one state, Connecticut. There was no mobile roaming. There was no ability to mobile roam it. Back to you, W3ICQ.
Yeah, isn't that something, how stuff has come down and has more features. Have a good day. Let's go to Jim in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, NW4Q.
Good morning, Jeff. 1988, I believe it was. Thank you.
Jim, good hearing you in the morning as always. Lewis in Houston, Texas, KJ5AXC.
Good morning, Brew Crew. It was somewhere in the 80s. It was one of those bricks, kind of like a... And I think maybe my first phone call was to my mom. KJ5AXC, back to net 73.
Yeah, I remember those, the big brick Motorola. It was the size of my Radio Shack CB radio walkie-talkie. Those were giant too back then. Have a good one. Scott in Jamestown, New York, N7FGP.
Good morning, Jeff, Dick, and Vicky, and everybody out there listening today. My first cell phone was right around 1987, and it was the old Radio Shack, one of the first handhelds they had that looked like an old War II walkie-talkie, I think. First phone call would have been to my first ex-wife. Back to you, Jeff.
Yeah, I had a couple of those too. I'm talking about ex-wives. Jim, have a great morning. Leo in Fort Lauderdale, Florida is going to wrap up this list. K4ITA.
Good morning, Jeff. Good morning, Vicky. From a foggy Fort Lauderdale, fog on the beach this morning, 64, 65 degrees, and well, I think it was 1990. It was a NEC P3. It was already considered a small, but it wasn't small. Everybody, great day and great weekend, and see you soon tomorrow, hopefully at Orlando. Bye-bye. Back to net.
Well, enjoy the Ham Festival. Yeah, I had some NEC gear when I was younger too, electronics. Monitors and other things. We're ready for another round of check-ins. By the way, the text line is 716-317-9050. Just put your call on your phone and you'll miss all the pileups. We'll go for another round of check-ins right now, twice and slowly.
Kilo Charlie 2, Uniform Victor, Quebec. Kilo Charlie 2, Uniform Victor, Quebec.
Kilo Charlie 0, Florida State quarterback, KC0FSQ, East Prairie, Missouri.
W8BDD. Whiskey 8, Bravo, Papa, Delta. Recheck. Kilo Alpha 4, Juliet Alpha Zulu. KA4JAZ.
WM Kilo Delta 6 Oscar
Kilo
Whiskey Michael in and out.
4 Delta Foxtrot Tango K4 DFT Jason, Riverview, Florida.
Detroit, Rock City, KF8 DRC.
Correct, 03, Tango Golf, November. Correct, 03, Tango Golf, November.
Okay, I've got the reflector. Let's go with this list here. We might have to make a few corrections. VE3 TGN Tim, KF8 DRC Jack, we got you in there again. Recheck. There was a station KR or K4 GFD, something like that. Give us a correction on that call. Something like K4 GFD.
K4 DFT, that's Kilo 4 Delta Foxtrot Tango, Jason in Riverview, Florida.
Okay, there we go. All right, we got it, Jason. Thanks for the correction. There was one above that with a JAZ in your call line. Call sign. JAZ. Give us a correction on that.
Kilo Alpha 4, Juliet Alpha Zulu. KA4 JAZ.
All right, looks like Alton. Thanks for the correction. We also added Rob, K4 GPM, and VE3 TGN, Tim. Let's see, W8 BPD, Brian, your recheck. We'll get you in there. KC0 FSQ, Bobby, it looks like a new station. KC2 UVQ, Phil. KB2 UDB, Mike. And at the top of the list, we've got Alan in Princeton, North Carolina. KD4 CHT. Hey, Alan, good morning. Do you remember your first cell phone call and what year was it? Push the fun button.
It was probably around 1996 or 1997, and it was a phone call to my mom. Back then, it had KD4 CHT.
We all have to call Mom. Have a good one, Alan. Mike in Sebring, Florida, KB2 UDB.
But apparently
Mike, we missed your transmission there. Try it again. KB2 UDB. What year? Well, we're going to put Mike in as an IO for now. He can maybe reach. Let's go to Phil in New York. KC2 UVQ.
Morning. It was 1984, and I don't think they called phones back then. And I remember it was 60 cents a minute during the day, 40 cents a minute off peak. This is KC2 UVQ, back to net.
You definitely had to go to work so you could pay your cell phone bill back then, for sure. Have a good one. Looks like a new station in East Prairie, Missouri. Is it Bobby? KC0 FSQ. Good morning, Bobby.
KC0 FSQ. Good morning to everyone in the net. Hey, I like this conversation. It brings me back to the older days. I started out, I think, in the late 90s with the big heavy Motorola flip phones, and then I remember getting a bag phone and a couple of other phones because I really liked them things, and somehow I learned to go in there and program some numbers to where I can, if I was in one room and the phone rang and I didn't have my cell phone with me, I could go to the other room and pick up that phone for the receive part. It wouldn't, I couldn't call out on it, but I programmed it where I could answer the phone and talk to on it. And I had a bag phone, the car, and them were the go back to them, really, in the rotary dial telephone. So y'all have a good evening. Enjoying this conversation. KC0 Bobby from East Prairie, Missouri.
That was interesting. I know that wasn't you, Bobby. First off, yeah, we like to go down memory lane on Friday. Yeah, we enjoy doing these type of questions. Hey, welcome to the system. Check us out at eastcoastreflector.com. Get a wealth of information there. And if you're current on QRZ with your email, you will get an email welcome letter of the day. Have a good one. Brian in Warren, Michigan, W8BPD.
Good morning, Jeff, Vicky, and the rest of the Brew crew. My first cell phone call happened because I was working for a mobile electronics place doing installations, and I had to call to make sure the phone was activated and working. I didn't get my first cell phone, and that was in '89. I didn't get my first cell phone personally until 1998 because my wife was pregnant, and of course the first call was to her so she could get my phone number. W8PPD, back to net control.
Boy, you remember all the details, Brian, of that call. Have a good morning. Let's go to our lucky 100th check-in, and that's you, Alton, in Virginia, KA4JAZ.
You and the rest of the Brew crew, my first cellular phone was in 1986. 1986, I was in Wiesbaden, Germany, and the first call I made was back to the airfield to make sure the controllers were doing their job. Y'all have a beautiful weekend. Back to net control.
Work. Okay, Alton, have a great weekend. Don't forget, at the top of the hour in 20 minutes, and it's 20 minutes to the top of the hour, is the second cup. Say good morning to Dick this morning, and because it's Friday. Let's go to Jason in Riverview, Florida, K4DFT. Good morning, Jason.
Hey, good morning to everyone. I believe, I want to say it was 95, 96, and it was the big Motorola with the big batteries. I had bought an extra battery flip phone, and I know my first call was to my best friend at that time, Danny, and I was about to go into my college class when I made that first phone call. Anyways, hope everybody has a great Friday. Happy Friday, great weekend. 73, K4DFT.
All right, Jason. Remember the bag phone? You had that big transmitter that you strapped onto your hip? Looks like Steven, K2EJ, we went along with his ride in the Zoom room. He had streaming video from his phone out the front of his car, and he just made it to Hamfest. Let's go to KF8, Detroit Rock, Jack in Rochester, Michigan. Recheck. Jack, you with us this time. Good morning.
Good morning, Jeff. Good morning, Vicky. Good morning, everyone. Everyone have a good Friday. Yes, we have a satellite phone. I had a satellite phone, and my brother had a satellite phone because we were running a supermarket. It does over $100,000 a year. So we used to call. My first call was from my mom, and I gave her the phone number. And that's all I have for you, Jeff. Have a good weekend. KFA, Detroit Rock City.
All right, Jack. Well, all we need from you is the year.
1973. 1973.
All right, Jack. Thanks for checking in again. Tim in Windsor, Ontario, Canada, VE3 TGN.
Morning, Jeff and Vicky. I had a long time ago an iPhone 4. Now I got an iPhone 16, so it's back about, I guess, 2015 there forward.
All right, Tim. Always good hearing you in the morning too as well. Thanks for stopping by. Have a great day. Let's go to Rob in Windermere, Florida. Good morning, K4GPM.
Good morning to everybody on the Brew. Haven't been on in a while, so happy to get back on this morning. Currently on my way to Hamcation. It's a beautiful day. Hopefully everybody will join us there. Come see me in the OARC booth if you can. 1992, not long after we got married, I don't remember my first call, but we bought a used Motorola brick phone for my wife to have, and I remember it was $20 a month for 0 minutes back when you had to buy minutes. Have a great day, everybody. Hope to see you out at Hamcation. K4GPM.
And Twin Cell Service was an arm and have a good fun out at Hamcation. Let's go to Scott in Eastvale, California, N6ZAR. Heading over to you, Scott.
Hey, good morning, Jeff and Vicky and everybody out there. I hope everyone has a fantastic Friday and weekend coming up. I believe the year was 1996. Back to you, Jeff, N6ZAR.
All right, sounds great, Scott. Thanks for stopping by early over there in California. We had Don and Ken come in by the text line while we were taking those checks. The text line, by the way, is 716-317-9050. It's 45 minutes past the hour. In 15 minutes will be the second cup. We've got time for a nice long round of check-ins. Twice and slowly, please.
KD6 DIQ Kilo Delta 6 Delta India Quebec in and out.
Sugar, 5 sugar.
Kilo 4 Victor Tango Tango KK4
K4VGT via Echolink.
Charlie Mike Tango, K2 CMT.
KR4IHD via Echolink, KR4IHD.
November 2, Victor Lima Kilo, N2 VLK. Kilo Alpha 5, Papa Uniform Delta, Kilo Alpha 5, Papa Uniform Delta.
K2EJ, K2EJ Mobile.
November 1, Whiskey Echo Bravo, N1 WEB.
Kilo Foxtrot 0, Victor Mike Charlie. Kilo Foxtrot 0, Victor Mike Charlie.
Okay, yep, I've got the reflector from the bottom up. KF0 VMC, my buddy an hour away, another Nebraska station in Lincoln. Timothy, N1 WEB Web. K2EJ, Steve, your mobile, hang tight. KA5 PUD Paul. N2 VLK, that's Jeff. Looks like a new station, KR4 IHT Fred. K2 CMT Mike, you're going to be first because you sounded mobile. KK4 T Bruce. KD6 DIQ Todd, you're an IO this morning from Yucca Valley, California. Great weekend. AA0UU Ken, got you in there. And W4 PPX Don at the top of the list. Let's go to our mobile stations first. Mike in DeBerry, Florida. K2 CMT, good morning. You must be on your way to Hamcation. And what year did you get your first cell phone?
I'm on my way to Hamcation, getting ready to get on the I-4 highway. Pray for me, folks. It's going to be dangerous out here. This is K2 CMT. See you at Hamcation.
Mike, we got all that except the year. Just say the year. We got everything else.
Year was around 1995.
Got it. Mike, have a good one and drive safe to Hamcation. Enjoy it. Let's go to Steve, our other mobile station in Maryland. K2EJ. Good morning, Steve.
Hey, good morning, Jeff, everybody. Anybody in the Zoom room? Yep, I'm actually here, just sitting here because I don't start my volunteer time until 10 o'clock. But yeah, 1996. Have a good day, everybody. I'll talk to you all later. K2EJ.
All right, Stephen, and everyone, Steve, everyone, Steve is in the Zoom room talking in his mobile in his car, or maybe his phone, I'm not sure, but coming in loud and clear there, Steve. Enjoy Hamcation. W4PPX, Don in Hollywood, Florida, good morning. What year was your first cell phone?
Good morning, everybody on the Brew crew this morning. 73 to L. Hope everybody has a good time and a safe time going to Hamcation. First year on a cell phone was, I believe, about 1996. Back to you.
Vicky, you're still using it.
What was that?
Vicky wanted to know if you're still using it.
No, I'm still using cell phones, but not that same one. I think I still have it up in the closet someplace. 7-3. Hope everybody has a good day.
All right, have a good day. Let's go to a friend of mine I haven't seen in a while, but used to live up in these parts and across the river in the Bluffs, but I think he's probably there in Florida, and that's you, Ken. AA0UU, good morning.
Well, good morning, Jeff and Vicky back there in the back room. Yeah, I came in with that recheck because I checked in on the text line. I heard you say I had checked in that way, and then I figured I must have missed you because I got distracted by my bride here for a second. So sorry if I ended up bugging you a second time unnecessarily. Anyway, quick answer. It would have been probably about 81 or 82, and it was for my wife, so she would have something when she was dragging. It was a doggone bag phone that was big enough you could have put a hardback War and Peace inside of it. 7-3, so everyone have a great day. AA0UU, back to net.
Yeah, my hip's getting warm from this transmitter. Can you say RF burns? Then have a good one. Bruce in Kissimmee, Florida, KK4 VTT.
Good morning to one, good morning to all. Have a good, God blessed day. See you at Hamification. If not today, maybe tomorrow. Last time I remember somewhere back in the late 90s, early 2000s, I bought phones for me and my wife, T-Mobile, and we're still customer till this day. Hey, everybody out there, have a great time. See you at Hamification. Kilo 4, Victor Tango, Kissimmee, Florida. Thanks, guys. Have a great weekend.
Alrighty, Bruce. Thanks for stopping by. It's about 8 minutes to the top of the hour, and the second cup is coming up, so stay connected. Keep the repeaters connected. Looks like a news station. KR4IHT, Fred in Spring Hill, Florida. KR4IHT, good morning.
Hey, good morning. I think I may have been misheard. That was Kilo Romeo 4 India Hotel Delta Tango. But hey, this is Dan over in Miami. I can't really, I was probably too young to remember using a cell phone for the first time. The first cell phone I got was in 2003 when I was in high school and needed a way to call home to get picked up. That was a Nokia brick, and I got really good at texting on those buttons. A skill I'll never get back, or I'll never have use for again. We'll not be going to Hamcation. We'll be staying down here. I got my son's birthday party this weekend, so we'll be doing that. But 73 Swall, Kilo Romeo 4 India Hotel Delta.
Alrighty, Daniel. Have a good weekend, sir. Let's go to Jeff in Lancaster, New York, N2VLK.
Morning, everybody. Hope everybody has a nice day today. The best I can recollect was 1980, and it was a bag phone. I remember that. But I'm curious, I'm looking at the log here. Why is this show like mine in 1980 to 84? What's the second date about? And for VLK.
Oh, we're just putting a range in it when, like you said, 80 or 82. Vicky put in a range, so that would fall in 80 to 84. We just have a range for everybody. If you're looking at the log this morning, you'll see that's on everyone. You said right in between there, between 1980 and 84. So that's where we put you. Have a good morning. Let's go to Paul in Montgomery, Texas, KA5PUD.
Good morning to the Brew crew. I'm not quite sure specific here, but it was probably time in the mid-80s. So back to the crew, KA5PUD.
All righty, Paul. Have a good weekend, sir. Don't forget, the second cup's coming up in 4 minutes. My name is Jeff, KE0GKF. Let's go to Webb at Collierville, Tennessee, N1WEB.
Thank you, Jeff and Vicki. This is my first transmission on the new handy-talkie here, so I hope I'm coming through. You can put me down for 2001. Precisely, it was January 24th, 2001. I bought the phone AT&T Ericsson phone, so that's my answer, and I'm sticking to it. Everybody have a great weekend and a fun hamcation if you're going there. N1WEB.
All righty, Webb. You have a good weekend, sir. Good hearing you. Yeah, the new HT is crystal clear. Don't change a thing with Reflector quality audio. My buddy Timothy over in our state's capital in Lincoln, about an hour away from me in Omaha, Nebraska. Timothy, KF0VMC. Good morning.
Everybody in the Brew crew, and nice hearing everybody this morning. I think my first cell phone was probably 1995. It was a bag phone, and it was hooked up into my car. So, yeah, I think that's about it. So, thanks, everybody. Everybody have a great day. So it is Friday the 13th, but, you know, I believe in that kind of stuff. So, everybody have a good day. This is, Kilo Foxtrot 0 VMC, and we will talk to everybody later. Thank you.
All right, Timothy, have a great morning. Glenn in Joshua, Texas, or maybe that's wrong. 5S, give us the correct call. Something that sounds like KS5S. Are you still with us?
You got me. KS5S, the name here is Glenn.
Okay, we got it right. Hey, Glenn, do you remember your first cell phone call and what year was it? Back to you, Glenn.
Yeah, well, it was actually wasn't a cell phone. It was a radio phone. Is that? I think that's what they call it, or a mobile phone where you had to pick the tower site. You had 10 towers, and you had to pick the tower site that was in your area, and you could call out no problem. But if somebody wanted to call you, they had to know what tower to call, and then they could put your extension in, and they could call you. It was a work phone back in 1984, and we worked construction, and we to the next town, to the next site, and I was with my boss. He's the only one that had that expensive phone, and I wanted to call in pizza, and he do that, and so I called the pizza place and ordered a pizza driving down Interstate 80 and in Iowa, and I just thought that was the neatest thing in the world. KS5S. Thanks for the memories.
Alrighty, Glenn. Yeah, I'm on I-80 just about every single day out here in the Midwest. Have a good one. Gil, wrapping up the net for us. K4GDS. Put a bow on it, Gil. Good morning.
Good morning, Jeff, Vicky, everyone else on the Brew. I'm right now walking into Hamcation. They just opened the gates, and my first cell phone was a bag phone in the 90s, probably like 92. K4 GDS, back to that.
Perfect timing, Gil. We got you there before you walked in. And enjoy Hamcation. And everyone else out there, enjoy Hamcation down there. Sounds like a lot of fun. Up next is the second cup. Dick's ready and to take your check-ins and say good morning to Dick. Stick around, everyone. Stay connected if you can. Dick will put a 20-second gap in here of silence for persons that want to connect and disconnect this morning. Everyone have a great weekend. We'll talk to you later. KE0GKF.
Good morning again, everyone. Dick WB2JPQ along with Bill and 2BH, and I think Vicky will be back up here in just a minute. Jeff's still in here as well. We forgot to announce that Monday there will not be a morning brew. No morning brew on Monday. I think it's President's Day. So no morning brew. I think we did forget to announce it. I think Bill did yesterday, but we totally forgot today. Boy, I got a couple text messages. Everybody liked the question this morning. That's all I could think of for memory lane without going back to school. We kind of beat that to death. So I just said to Jeff, maybe next week we should say your last payphone call and how much did it cost or something like that. Anyway, we for the second cup here, we already from the top down we got Bob as usual. KQ8U from Ecorse, Michigan, or K1JAX, and KM7DSP, Jacob from Temple, Arizona already. The text line this morning. For those of you that are new to us on the second cup, we just like to know what's on your mind and let you just talk. We found that's the best thing to do on Friday afternoons, just let our people talk to us, can ask us questions or ask each other questions. So we never have a question. Always what's on your mind. So let's take, I have these three text check-ins. Bill is on the log here until Vicky gets back, and then she'll help me with the second cup. That's one of the nets that we do together along with Friday morning. So let's see if we have any mobiles. Do we have any mobiles? The 9 o'clock hour on the East Coast. This is Dick, WB2JPQ.
Alpha Delta 8, Mike Papa.
Yankee Bravo Sierra, Victor Alpha 3, Yankee Bravo Sierra.
Charlie 1, Quebec. The last station was at KC1QZI. QZI, we need a correction on that.
Quebec, Zulu, India.
Quebec, Zulu, India. Okay. Come up, I hope. Christopher in Connecticut. We got you. Great, we got you, Christopher. I got Bill. BA3YBS. Mobile. I guess Christopher, I guess you were mobile. You called in with the mobile. We got David, AD8MP also as mobile. Do we have any other mobiles other than those three?
This November 0, November 1 Sierra Mobile, NJ1S stroke mobile, in Vermont, in and out only, please.
Whiskey Delta 4, Oscar X-Ray Tango. Whiskey Delta 4, Oscar X-Ray Tango. WD4OXI. Going to ride along with us for a while. NJ1S was in and out. Good morning to you, Eric. Just before Eric, there was an N0 Juliet something. The N0 station only, please.
November 0, Juliet Mike Bravo, Jason, Minnesota.
Juliet Mike Bravo. And we put the MB in, and that's what you come up with. All right, we'll get to you in just a minute. Let me go up to David. He was first on the list here. He's Mobile, 88 MP. David, good morning to you, and what's on your mind this morning?
Good morning. This is David, Alpha Delta 8 Mike Papa, and I'm just driving around for work right now, heading back to the central office to make some changes over there, and testing out my new HT. It's a DM32UV by Baofeng. It's a DMR analog radio, and so far I've been able to make contact on the DMR side with the Parrot, so I can hear myself back, but I haven't been able to talk to anybody on that side, on the DMR yet. So I'm still trying to figure out all the nuances of that. It looks like it's programmed correctly, just not a lot of activity in the area. But enjoying the radio, it works great. It seems to have a better receiver than the Baofeng UV5R, which is the other handy-talkie I have. And so I'm really starting to like it a lot. It's bigger. It's reminiscent of the old HTX 202 by Radio Shack as far as its size. It's a big brick. And I actually kind of like that. I like to be able to have something I can hold firmly in my hand and know that it's there. Other than that, having a great day out here in Detroit, Michigan. Beautiful weather, sunny, and probably, 25 degrees. So a great day outside and to be in net control. This is Alpha Delta 8 Mike Papa.
Thanks, David. Good information. Probably the first one. I don't follow the HTs. There are so many Baofeng HTs out there that I just don't follow them. But I do remember the 202. Those were an early breed by Radio Shack. They must have sold thousands of those things. That's a memory lane question right there. What was your first HT? How about Bill? Dunville, Ontario, VA3YBS. Bill, what are you up to this morning?
Dick and everybody on the net. We're just driving across Orlando. We're on our way into Hamfest. Kind of excited about that. It's the first time I've been to Hamfest, or will be at Hamfest. And I'm in a bit of traffic, so I think I'm going to keep it short and just say hello to everybody and wish everybody 7-3, VA3YBS. Back to you.
Yeah, you're probably on I-4 ready to get off at 50, so take care. Stephen, E2EJ, he's already there. We followed him from his hotel to Hamcation this morning on video. He had his camera rolling. We've heard a couple others. Gil had already walked in too, so Mike, K2CMT's on his way, so there's a lot of ECR guys headed that way. You enjoy. Have a good day, Bill. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be there this year. But certainly will miss it. KC2ZI, Christopher, Morris, Connecticut, new to the system. Welcome.
Then, this is KC1QZI. Moved to Rhode Island, in Richmond, Rhode Island, and I just pulled in the gate, so I'm getting ready to park here at Hamcation. I'm snowbirding down from Rhode Island to Palmetto, Florida. Anybody from Palmetto are on the air here. I was looking around at the local repeaters there yesterday. But I'm down here for a few more weeks, and hopefully we'll have a great time at Hamcation today. I'm here with Tom, and Tom, your call is what? N3UKO. Yeah, N3UKO, and he's permanent here in Bradenton, Florida. So we're just getting ready to park here, 73's all, and we'll see you all later.
All right, Christopher, thank you, and we'll put N3 UKO on the log sheet down at the end here, so he'll get in our database, and if he's got a current email address on QRZ, he'll get our welcome letter. So, 444.8 is our repeater in downtown Orlando, which does cover handheld coverage into the Hamfest. 444.800, was it 103, I can't remember the PL though. Can't remember the PL, but it's 444.8, and the standard PL for Central Florida. And we will put N3 UKO. All right, N3 UKO already. We'll put him on our log sheet, so he does get a welcome letter, and he's in our log. Have a good day. Enjoy the Hamfest. All right, moving on to Jason. Let's go N0JMB. Good morning. And this is Dick, WB2JPQ. What's on your mind this morning?
Good morning, everybody. Little jealous. I'm sitting here in Minnesota at 23 degrees, although we're going to be in the upper 40s today, which is about 20 degrees above normal, but a little jealous of all the people heading down to Hamcation. Maybe next year, huh? So, yep, it's going to be some nice weather for the next week or so. We've got about 2 feet of ice on the lakes, but 50 degrees for a week straight is going to wreak havoc on that. So, yeah, spring is coming, hopefully sooner rather than later. That's all I got. Hope everybody has a great weekend. 73 from N0JMB.
Just told me we got 5 weeks before that's going to happen, Jason, but we can hope for the best. And, yeah, we all wish we were down there at Hamcation. We've been down there the last few years. It was a very big turnout from East. It's been a lot of fun. It's going to be tough this year to miss it. But life goes on. Let's go to Winter Springs, Florida. Boy, I've been in Winter Springs for a while. Good morning. KD40XT. What's on your mind this morning? Looks like you're a first-time user here on the second cup. Good morning.
Whiskey Delta 4 Oscar X-Ray Tango. Name here is Rilby. Hey, Dick. Good morning to everyone. On my way to Hamcation, just on the 408. Caught on traffic here on the 408, heading about 5 miles. So looking for seeing all the new gears and all the stuff there. Hopefully not make a big dent on the credit card. So that's all I have. Looking forward this weekend at Hamcation. Have a good weekend. WD40XC back to net control.
On the 408 heading to I-4 to 50, I'll bet. And when you get to the 408 and I-4, that's where the repeater's located at that major intersection in downtown Orlando. Leo, good morning. K4ITA. Oops, wait a minute. Leo, I can't take you yet. I got guys ahead of you. I got to scroll up, my friend. Hold on. I got to go up to Bob. He's been waiting up here forever. Good morning. KQ8, you, Bob. Bob fell asleep on me. KQ8, you, Bob, you still with me? Come back to Bob. How about Harlan in Jacksonville, Florida? Jacksonville, I'll bet you might be heading to Hamcation as well. Good morning. K1JAX.
I'm not going to make it to Hamcation this year. My schedule does not permit. But yeah, I did a check-in, thought I was getting in on the morning brew. And I wanted to say I got my first cell phone in 92, and it was a Mobera bag phone. But other than that, just wanted to say hi to everybody on the net. And have a great weekend. K1JAX.
I got a text message from a ham that couldn't believe that there was only 666 channels that I mentioned earlier, but that's correct. That's all there was, 666 channels to share with the world. And 333, of course, like I said, we're for any private company that wanted to, you and I could go into business and we could have 333 of those in our sector, and Ma Bell, of course, had the other 333, but then it came into multiplexing and so forth and so on as things went down. But how we've evolved here and how things have changed, it's amazing to think about that. Jacob in Temple, Arizona. Good early morning, KM7DSP.
Good morning to everybody on the net. I, like people, am wishing that I was in Florida at Hemcation, and I am just beginning my venture into HF as a ham, and so what's really on my mind is trying to figure out what kind of stealth antenna I can build at my apartment. So, yeah, back to the net, KM7DSP.
It's a question that comes up at many times on our Tuesday night tech night at 8 o'clock on the East Coast. It's kind of beating that one to death. You just have to use your imagination. But you know, the old story, it's really tough to see a wire in a backyard. Put an end set up from your balcony or whatever you might have from your house to apartment building or whatever you got, just an apartment building. It's really tough to see a wire. You gotta be a little bit creative. UHF, VHF in the day, I rented, first retired many years ago. I rented a condo down on the beach and was absolutely no antenna restrictions. Of course, I couldn't live without back in those days, it was early IRLP days, around 2000, 2001, early IRLP days, and I brought my IRLP node and a portable repeater down, as clumsy and as big as it was, and I went to Home Depot and bought a 5-gallon pail, I guess it was, and I don't know, a bag of rocks or something like that, and I put my UHF VHF white collinear in that pot. Bought one of these vines at one of the stores that wind around it, and it looked beautiful, and everybody would look up. We were on the 5th floor. I guess they'd look up and, hey, boy, does that look beautiful. What kind of a plant is that? And I'd just say, well, you really don't want to know. But it worked. I got away with it. And I left the pail there in case somebody else came along. It was too heavy to carry down. Let me go up to, let's see if Bob is back. Bobby back, KQ8U? Bob must have got tied up today. Now let's go down to Mr. Pizza in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Good morning, Leo. K4ITA. What's on your mind today? Are you going up to the Hamcation?
Morning. Good morning, Dick. Good morning again, Vicky. Yes. Tomorrow. Can't wait. Tomorrow we'll be going to Orlando. Oh yeah. We can wait. It's gonna be only my second time, but this time Saturday. Last time was Sunday. I didn't have too much time, and the only thing that tonight it's gonna be a tough night because I'm gonna go. Usually Friday for me is going to sleep between 1 and 2 a.m. And tomorrow I'm gonna wake up to leave probably around 7 or 6:30. So it's gonna be fine, no problem. Okay, very nice to be here in the relaxing second cup. I love it. And just for Jacob, a few years ago I had a balcony only on my apartment available for antenna, and I had a very good result with M sticks. You know, the M stick with the dipole kit. So 2 M stick, one against the other. And especially on the high frequency 10 meter, 15 meter, 12 meter, they were working very well. 3rd floor balcony, working very well on that direction that I had available on the balcony. This case for ATA, everybody, great day, great week, enjoy vacation, everybody. Back to you, Dick.
Oh yeah, the good old ham sticks. Yes, many balconies. Who asked that question? That was OXT. Yeah, ham sticks work very well if you've got a balcony as well. Probably get away with it up to 40 meters maybe. Or down to 40 meters, I should say. But a lot of innovative things that you could do. I know people who run ham sticks in living rooms, so you can do it. And yeah, that's a big drive up there. I did that quite a number of years. Leo, we would leave early in the morning from the Hypoluxo Island, my friend WB2WJF. We'd leave from his place, drive up to Orlando, ham fest all day, and then drive back, get back late at night. Made for a big day. The worst thing I found was the fog in South Florida in the morning. It seemed every single morning when we got out, 5, 6 o'clock or whatever it was so foggy on 95 or the turnpike coming up that you just, many places, zero visibility, and you probably are well aware of that. Speaking about South Florida, Hollywood, good morning again, Don, WG4PPX. That was me that had asked Jeff. I said, well, you still got your same cell phone? Your first cell phone? Good morning, Don.
Father. Yeah, I figured it was you. He said it was Vicky, but I figured it was probably you. Not much to add today. I was going to come up to Hamfest, but when I found out that the Godfather wasn't going to be there, I figured I'd back out. Anyway, I got stuck paying for breakfast. It was Walter's turn down here, so now he owes me something. So, hope everybody has a great day, and hope everybody has a lot of fun and stays safe up there in Orlando. W4PPX, back to you, Dick.
Certainly next year, looking forward to it, Don, if, no serious things come up. We had such a good time the last few years, and I've gone for probably 20 years. It's always been, I always thought it was the best ham fest. I always liked Dayton, but I just don't like the new venue at Dayton. I don't like all those rocks and where it is. I'd go back to the old place anytime. But Orlando is certainly the place to be in February. Bob, glad you liked the question this morning, W3ICQ.
Yeah, I sure did. These questions have a tendency to make you scramble and figure out, wait a minute, what was it? I got to find out that answer real quick before he calls on me. And yeah, it was a 1984 phone. It was as big as a brick. And I just had to have it because I'm one of those early bird, whatever they call them, early testers. And speaking of that, today I'm going to be trying to put a DV switch server up and going on a little node today. So that'll be my work for today. So have a good day, Dick, and I'm sure everybody misses you at Hamcation. I've never been to one, and I wasn't really planning on going today, but you probably should, actually. Anyway, back to you. Have a great day, everybody. W3ICQ.
Bob, I think that was, cellular hadn't come out yet. I think that was IMTS, improved mobile telephone service. Well, the early ones were low band back in the 50s. And then IMTS came out on UHF. But the cellular pretty much didn't come around until around 80. The 666 channels came around about 80 and 81. And I got involved somewhere around 82 with it. So that was the first analog. So I think you're thinking of IMTS. And there was another gentleman in there that also, I actually went up and changed their answers because that's just going to throw our graph off. It was not cellular. IMTS, perhaps. All right, let's take some new stations. Vicky's back. Thank you, Bill. Bill's been setting in here this morning for us. Vicky's back. Going to help us out. It's been a real team effort in here this morning, as it always is.
WB8ODF just came in via the text line. Good morning, Dave. Let's see, we got any mobiles. Almost half past the hour, 26 past the hour here on the East Coast. Well, it should be past the hour anywhere. Do I have any mobiles? Mobile. That was a toughie. It was Oscar something from IRLP note 3543. Want to try it again? You've got noise and your audio's low. You get 3543 IRLP note only.
November 7, Juliet, Charlie, Oscar, mobile, in and out.
Well, that's Jeffrey in 7JCO. That was much better that time, Jeffrey. Maybe hang around for more. Hang around if you got him, and I'll get right to you. Who else would like to get on the list here? Then we'll go back and see if we can catch Jeffrey and let him say good morning. Anybody anywhere? Twice and slowly. This is Dick, WB2JPQ.
Mobile. Kilo Charlie 2, Uniform Victor, Quebec. Kilo Charlie 2, Uniform Victor, Quebec.
W2PMS. W2PMS.
JN.
Kilo, Quebec 4, Uniform X-Ray Juliet. Kilo, Quebec 4, Uniform X-Ray Juliet.
November 4, Romeo Hotel Echo. November 4, Romeo Hotel Echo. Kilo, Quebec 4, Alpha Yankee Hotel. Kilo, Quebec 4, Alpha Yankee Hotel, Gary, Fort Lauderdale.
Well, that's a pretty good call up. Good morning to Gary in Fort Lauderdale, KQ4AYH. Roger in Fort Lauderdale. Good morning again to you, Roger. KJ in Charlotte, North Carolina. And Anna, I was looking for you this morning, Anna. It's too bad you weren't on my shift. I wanted to put a cell phone alongside your Easter bonnet from yesterday, but I guess that's not going to happen. We got you. We got Peter, W2PMS. We got Phil from Valley Stream, New York. Now, that's a new one for me. Never heard of that. You're new to the second cup, Phil. We'll get with you in just a minute. And we got Dave, ODF, like I said. Let me see if Jeffrey's still with us, N7JCO. Jeffrey, you got time to, I know you're mobile, you got time to jump in here and say hello? He meant in and out. That's what the first line means. They're in and out. They don't want to talk. Sometimes I can get them to talk. I get this guy to talk. Voice of Ypsilanti, Michigan. Oh, Dave, do I have a story for you? WB8ODF, good morning.
Good morning, Dick and Vicki, now that you're back. This is Dave. I'm in Ypsilanti. That's about 30 miles due west of Detroit on I-94. And Dick, I just jumped in here and came in the Zoom room. I didn't get the question of the day for your second cup.
Well, Dave, we don't have a question on the second cup. We just talk about anything that's on your mind and anything you want to ask me or Vicki or ask each other.
Well, I may have questions next week when I start playing around with this Delta loop. I had an idea to make a Delta loop. I have two very tall tripods, which I can put the flat line across up at the top there and then just angle them in the triangle form and see where we get. I used them a lot back in the 70s. I had a friend that lived in a condo that was all wood. So we just stapled a
dipole, not a dipole, but what I just said, Doug, the triangle. And boy, we got a lot of it. It wasn't the coax wasn't more than 2 or 3 feet off the ground, but we got a lot of DX with it. Delta loop. I couldn't think of the word delta loop. Thanks, Dick. WB8ODF.
You know, Dave, that brings up a point. When I was a kid, I had a friend. I don't know if they had HOAs. I'm sure they didn't when I was a kid. But maybe his parents didn't want anything in the yard for the antenna. We stapled a dipole to the back of his house. It worked. It probably didn't work. Charles will say, oh my gosh, radiation pattern on that must have been terrible. But it worked. We operated for a couple of years out of his house that way. Young lad, so it will work. So something to think about too. Doesn't take a couple staples at the end, hang it up right on the house. Obviously, if you got metal siding or something, that's not going to work. But alrighty, let me go on to Phil and Valley Stream, New York. Yep, tell me where that is, Phil. Then we're going to send it over to Vicky and let her say hello to some of you guys and gals here this morning. KC2UVQ, good morning. First time on the second cup, I see.
WB2JPQ, this is KC2VQ. Good morning, Dick and all in the net. The Valley Stream is the border of Queens, which is part of New York City, and Long Island. So I'm right there in the border. Island Parkway pretty much separates Queens from Long Island. So I'm right near the Parkway, which is convenient to travel anywhere. Which, 20 minutes or so, I got to take my daughter to college. She does go she is in Queens. I found the Morning Brew a few days ago, and I've been checking it every morning, and I noticed that there's the second cup on Friday, so I figured I'd stick around today and see what it's all about. One question I have I'm looking at the ECR watch logs, and up on the top there's these colored circles, say anonymous animals, like the anonymous dinosaur and the anonymous panda. I was wondering what is all that? Back to you, this is KC2UVQ.
Hello, this is Vicky, K8VKY. Yeah, that's just a Google thing. If you're not logged in specifically to Google, they just give you an anonymous name. And since that particular page is opened up to anybody anonymous can be there.
Roger, thank you for that information. Now I understand. This is KC2UVQ. Back to that.
Thank you and have a good day. Next up is Peter, W2, PMS.
Good morning, Vicky and Dick in there on the second cup. Well, I'm actually still on my first cup, trying to getting the cobwebs out of my mind and all that. And I'm going to have an interesting day because my main computer, Windows, decided that my password had expired and it won't let me change it. So I guess I'm going to do fresh installation. Fortunately, it's not my only computer. I have this habit of buying computer hardware that I don't need to build computers that I don't need, so I always have options. But that's going to be my day today. And I guess not too much. Well, actually, yeah, I'm waiting on UPS to deliver said unnecessary computer hardware. So should be
And also tonight is Net at 8 p.m. Up next is Anna, KD3HAN. What's on your mind?
Good morning, Vicki and Dick and everyone else in there. Well, I just wanted to tell Dick that I had my phone on it, and I was trying to call the Easter Bunny, but he didn't answer. So I don't know what that's all about. Everyone have a great weekend. KD3HAN.
I'm not sure what language the Easter Bunny would speak. Thanks for stopping by. Have a good weekend. KJ, KQ4 or UXJ?
Good morning, Vicki, Dick, and the Brew crew. It's 40 degrees here in Charlotte. I believe we're going to get up to 57. Starting to warm up finally. I was so excited. I just woke up and saw that I still had time for the second cup, although I'm enjoying my first cup of coffee right now. Slept in this morning, working later on this afternoon. And I guess my priority today will be just going out and trying to get some Valentine's Day goodies before the rush comes through. Anyway, 73s, everyone have a great day. KQ4UXJ back to net.
Thank you, KJ. And just to note, your audio sounds great. Roger, N4RHE.
KEPKY, thank you for stirring a second cup, November 4, Romy Teleco. I may not remember my exact first phone call, but I have a certificate of my first hand contact. On my mind, keeping with my family memories that the Brew has brought up, tomorrow, St. Valentine's Day, my favorite uncle, Lawrence Percival Elliott Cox, who is also my godfather, will celebrate his 96th birthday. He bought me my first superbike, a Honda 750cc in 1973. He's always cool and calm. I suppose his demeanor has contributed to his longevity. I call him every Sunday. November 4, Roger Ham enthusiast, return to Cousin Cox.
Thank you, Roger. No, it's a good story. Gary, KQ4AYA.
Good morning, everybody on the Coffee Brew. I'm actually working on my first half a cup of coffee. I want to put out there, I developed a project, like a non-profit type program that I need somebody to probably take it over. We have operators. It's called CERC, and I'll give my telephone number out to somebody who wants to take it over. It's a project where we get 10 operators involved with the community, and the community involved with the operators providing relief support. It's kind of a unique program. You go to the website at www.CERCteam.com. That's CERC Team, and it's called the Community Emergency Response Force. And it's a setup that I'm not able to really do anything with and rather it goes stale. I'd like to have somebody ready to take it over. And to the gentleman who is going to restore his computer, don't do that yet. Give me a call, 954-630. There's a way to do it without destroying your content. This is KQ4AYA, back to net control.
Thank you, Gary. You're pretty noisy. It was hard to get most of that. If you happen to get close to the repeater, try giving a call back. This is Vicky, K8VKY, and the second cup. Taking more seconds, twice and slowly.
N5UXT, N5UXT.
AA7FR, AA7FR.
IQ, Kilo Delta 6, Delta India, Quebec.
Alright, we got KD6, DIQ, AA7FR, and N5UXT. There's somebody coming in through Jacksonville, but you're just a little too difficult to read. So first up, Angelo, N5UXT, what's on your mind?
Hey Vicky, it's you. Good morning to everybody on the Morning Brew. Nothing really much on the mind other than Mardi Gras. Getting ready to enjoy this weekend. And of course Mardi Gras Day, Tuesday. Other than that, I hope everybody has a wonderful day. From N5UXT, Angelo and the Big Easy. 7-3, Vicky.
Thank you, Angelo. Have a good weekend. Anthony, AA7FR.
Hello, good morning. AA7FR. Name here is Tony, in the Northern Rockies in Montana, and usually I'm not on the ECR this early, but I am trying to reinstall my operating system because Windows 11 said goodnight, and so I'm reverting it back to Windows 10, which I never should have left to begin with, so lesson learned. I'm listening to everybody this morning. A lot of friendly people. I just discovered this Reflector recently, so it's been real fun. So thank you to everybody for being so welcoming. AA7FR, BTU.
And we're glad to have you, Tony. Have a good weekend. Todd, KD6, DIQ.
Alright, well my topic is sound bars for your TV. I wonder how many people have sound bars for their TV. I have one for mine. It's a Vizio sound bar. It's the bar and a subwoofer, and it works so well. And I just wanted to share that if your TV doesn't put out enough audio, get yourself a sound bar. I don't know exactly how much they are, $99, $100. They can go up to $500, but they're really useful. Anyway, KD6 DIQ.
And the Zoom room says they're cheaper than hearing aids. And some TVs, I think, especially Amazon TVs, tend to be very quiet. I know I have one. It's just not plugged in. All right, this is Vicky, K8VKY with Dick WB2JPQ in the second cup. Taking more check-ins twice and slowly, please.
Whiskey 2, Sierra Alpha Lima. Whiskey 2, Sierra Alpha Lima.
Whiskey Golf Charles, Kilo Bravo 2, Whiskey Golf Charles Mobile, and short on time.
Alright, we had W2SAL and mobile, we had KB2WGC. So first up, Kevin, KB2, GWGC. I cannot talk. Kevin, you're up first.
It sounds like, Vicky, you did not have your second cup this morning. I just want to compliment you on the today's question on the morning brew. You know, my wife usually asks me, what was the question? And I tell her, and she says, oh, that's nice. But today we actually had a conversation about it, and she brought up, yeah, remember the time when our daughter, when texting, you had to pay X amount per character or whatever. We had a $300 text bill that month. Boy, did our daughter get, you know what. But anyway, it brought back good memories, and nice talking with my wife this morning. I appreciate it. Have a good day, everybody. KB2WGC.
I forgot they used to charge by the text. Sale, W2, SAL.
Morning, Miss Vicky and Professor Godfather over there waving a hand. Headed out for PG this morning, and I just wanted to say hello and remind everyone about the Youth Net tonight at 8 p.m. right here on this frequency. With that, I'll send it back to Net Control. Everyone have a great day, and we'll talk to you later. W2 SEL clear.
Yep, Youth Net tonight, 8 o'clock. Anybody's welcome to check in, even third party. More check-ins twice as slowly.
KE7 ZDS, Tempe, Arizona.
Recheck Kilo Quebec 4 Alpha Yankee Hotel. Recheck Kilo Quebec 4 Alpha Yankee Hotel.
KE2 FLO.
Alright, I'll stop right there. PE1, DAD, you tend to have a lot of data noises of some sort coming across. Take care of that, please. KE2 FLO, KQ4 AYH, and the first one, I believe it was K7 ZDS. Can you correct that, please?
Yes, Kilo Echo 7 Zulu Delta Sierra.
Alright, Tony, you're up first. What's on your mind?
Yeah, just tuning into the net, and I just wanted to say hello and good morning to all. Had a beautiful drive from Payson to Tempe, just about to the work QTH there. Everybody have a good day, 73, and back to net control, KE7 ZDS clear.
Thanks for stopping by. Since you're new to the system, you should be getting a welcome letter pretty soon. Gary, KQ4 AYH.
Yes, thank you so much for allowing me to come back in. Now I'm on my base station, so I should not have any white noise. No, I was just putting out to the group that, I was starting a community initiative that needs somebody to take it over. It's called Citizens Emergency Response Corps. There's a website set up. There's branding. I even have some t-shirts. And it was designed to get the community working alongside of amateur radio operators, first responders, and trying to inspire our youth as well in education with amateur radio. So if somebody's interested, go to the website. It's www.cercteam.com. I need somebody to just take it over, do what you want with it. Of course, and you can contact me on my personal cell. I don't mind giving it out there. It's 954-630-6897. But before it dies and I retire it, I'd like to see if somebody would like to try to take it over and do some good, get our youth involved in amateur radio. There it is. AQ4AYH, back to net control.
You were perfectly clear that time. Thank you. Mike, KE2 FLO.
Saturday on the second cup. Just having a good morning here. This is actually new radio that I just finally got connected and programmed last night. This will be the first contact I made on it. Hope it sounds good. Just playing a little radio today, and that's all. Just wanted to say hello and hope everyone's having a great one today. KE2 FLO, back to you, net control.
Thank you, Mike. And just to let you know, on June 20th, there's a Western New York meet and greet at Chestnut Ridge Park. I might want to consider coming. And that's the end of that list. We got about 9 more minutes left, so we'll take some more check-in.
Good morning, Vicky, KD2IWN.
Kilo Charlie 5, Lima, Whiskey, Yankee. See if I got it. W6 DJC, Whiskey 6 Delta Juliet Charlie, Operator David. KF8 DJQ, KF8 DJQ.
We've got KF8 DJQ, W6 DJC, KC5LWY, and KD2IWN. This is Vicky, K8VKY with Dick, WB2JPQ. And first up, Tim, KD2IWY.
Morning, Vicky and Dick there in the background listening in. Everybody else on the morning brew second cup. I didn't make the first morning brew because I'm at work and it's an absolutely crazy morning for Friday the 13th. But we settled in here and I can start refocusing again when all the crazy stuff I have done is finishing up. Good to hear some new people out there. I like that initiative with community involvement in amateur radio. I know back in the 70s there was a something similar. I forget what the acronym for it was. I think it was CERT, S-E-R-T. But good to hear that that's trying to get revived. Hopefully somebody can pick that up who has time on their hands and is willing to run with it. It's always good to get community involved. We try to get involved with our community emergency preparedness coordinators within our individual towns, but that's an initiative we got going locally. Other than that, tomorrow's obviously Valentine's Day. I have some evening plans for dinner and stuff like that. Maybe a little something afterwards, not too much. And the rest of the weekend is finally open and not much going on. After church, I could relax and just chill out and do some things around the house and just relax for a change, hopefully. And I emphasize on the hopefully. Maybe do some quota chasing. I know there is, I think there's some, there's an expedition going on somewhere, so we'll have to see if we can reach that. I think it's in the Grand Tartucas or something like that. I might be even saying that wrong. It sounds like something from Dr. Seuss, but I know that there's something like that going out there. That's about it for the weekend. That's what's going on. Good to hear everybody. We'll catch you next week, 73, K82IWS.
Thank you, Tim. Always glad to have you. Andrew, KC5LWY.
I'm trying to connect through Echo Link. The DMR was messed up. I don't remember what the question was, but Valentine's Day, day after is my birthday, 69. Thinking about my mom. She was always in the hospital on Valentine's Day delivering me. And for that young lady that was out there looking for a stealth antenna, look into the slinkies. I got a co-phase slinky run through that I use on my HF to receive 20 meters, and it talks pretty well. But other than that, I hope I can get through. I hope I'm getting out here through y'all, going through Echo Link. Appreciate you, Vicky. Appreciate everybody out there. Kilo Charlie 5, Lima, Whiskey Yankee, back to net. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrew, and have a good weekend. And just a reminder, No morning brew on Monday. David, W6DJC, welcome to the system.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Still pretty early here. I'm just kind of listening to see what's going on. But I want to check in, see I'm still alive, or am alive, since it's the first time being here. You guys have yourself a mighty fine weekend. Operator David, Whiskey 6, Delta Juliet, Charlie, waving all 4 fingers and a thumb.
Thanks for stopping by. Hope to see you again. Kevin, KF8, DJQ.
Hey, good morning, Vicky. Everybody on the Brew crew this morning, everybody on the net. Morning, Brew. What was the first record you ever bought? And was it a 45, an LP, or maybe even a 78? Not sure if the question's been asked, but I imagine you would be able to tell me, Miss Vicky. KF8, DJQ, back to you.
If we have, not since I've been here. I don't remember any record questions. But there have been, 1,150 some morning brews, so anything's possible. But we'll add it to the list, thank you. What time is it? We got a couple more minutes. I'm going to take 1 or 2 more check-ins. Last call for the second cup. Hi, this is Vicky K8BKY with Dick WB2JPQ, turning the reflect back to normal amateur use.
For MTG at Hamcation.
Whatever that is on the Fort Lauderdale repeater, you're not making it. We'll have to take you offline if it keeps up just running scripts. This is WB2JPQ.
WB2JPQ from KV4NTG. Good afternoon.
I'm only thinking about it.
Walter, not going to stick here. We've been down here for 3 hours. We're just finishing up in the Zoom room, but good morning.
I'm really not hearing you well. I'm on Echo Lincoln. Here, he's got half the table, and he's ready to rock and roll.
You know, Mike, K2CMT, he left probably 45 minutes, an hour ago. We talked to him on the morning brew, and Gil, I know, came in to the grounds right at the top of the hour, which I guess was, what, 8 o'clock? I'm not sure. So somebody should be coming along. 10-3, Walter, thank you. This is WB2JPQ.
Anytime, Godfather. Always welcome to help East Coast Reflector. 7-3, take care, and if there's anything good here at the show, I'll take a picture of it for you. Hi. Take care now.
Hey, good morning, Dick, KF0 MHN. Hope you're feeling better.
KJ5, KBI, looking for radio check.
Radio check. This is Kilo Quebec 4 off the Yankee Hotel. You're coming in good, a little staticky.
This is KF0 MHN. Thank you.
This is Kilo Oscar 4 Mike Lima Yankee. Can I get a audio check?
Audio check. I could swear that you're standing right next to me. Wow. Excellent audio. Thank you for AYH.
Thank you very much. I got an excellent copy on you, too. I'm out here in Gainesville, Florida. And I want to reach out and see if I can't reach a friend here. We've been setting up his radio. We want to make sure it checks out. I wanted to make sure mine was working first. But I'm looking for a Kilo Romeo 4 Echo Kilo Z, KR4EKZ. Do you copy?
AR4
to the radio station.
this is Kilo Oscar 4 Mike Yankee, you copy.
Can you confirm if I have white noise now? Because I think I may have solved the problem. I was on narrow band and I switched to wide band. Do you hear any fuzzy noise or crackling noise in the background?
I'm sorry, were you talking to me?
Yes, sir. Can you confirm if you hear white noise in the background on my transmission? Kilo Quebec 4 Alpha Yankee Hotel.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. It's not obnoxious or anything, but I can hear it just slightly.
Okay, I gotta check some other settings in. All right, thank you so much. AQ4AYH. Clear.
Not a problem. 73. Kilo Oscar 4 Mike Lima Yankee.
KF0 MHN standing by.
KF0 MHN, this is KF8 DJQ. Morning, Bill. Are you headed out to Arizona yet?
Hey, how you doing? Yeah, we'll be headed out Thursday morning. Closed Wednesday morning, and we're just about ready. Getting excited.
No doubt, no doubt. This is Kevin. Oh, hearing you quite a bit and kind of keeping tabs and kind of wishing I was going with you. So I just wanted to wish you, 7-3 and good luck and enjoy. Now, are you going to, how long are you staying out there and when are you coming back to Minnesota?
Well, we're going to be out there till mid-April, and probably get back here by April 17th, 18th, something like that. And a buddy of mine, we're going to drive back probably a week later and take a car down there. My daughter had a Toyota Corolla, very limited miles, about 77,000 miles on it. We're going to drive it back there and park it there, so we'll have a car there just in case we ever wanted to fly in there, so we wouldn't have to drive every time. And we plan on going back in November, flying back to Minneapolis in Christmas time, and then we can fly back and we'll have a vehicle there. Just take a shuttle back to the house when we fly back in. So we got it all planned out. At least my wife's got it all planned out. I just follow directions.
Sounds like the way to go. That's kind of how things work around here, too. All right, well, have a good day. I got a little work to do here at home, but nothing major. Not work that I get paid for or anything, but working on putting something together for my kids. My son got me a book. He wants to know my story. Okay, son. I'll get some pictures together and get that. So I'll give it back to him next Christmas. So that's kind of my little project. But take care. KF8 DJQ clear.
Daughter got me a book, a dad's book, and she wanted to know my history of the family and everything else like that. So I need to open that thing up and start going to work on it as well. So, all right, thanks for coming back to me. I really appreciate it. You have a great day. 73. This is KF0 MHN. I'll be standing by.
E0, UK calling, UK calling, UK calling. 2E0.
Mike Kilo Echo Point.
Good morning, UK station. This is KF0MHN. How are you?
Thank you very much. This is 2E0. Mike Kilo Echo. Say again. 2E0. Kilo Echo. Good afternoon from my end. Good morning your end. How about it there, sir? May I have your call sign, nice and solar there, please?